Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and welcome to show and tell number 303. So I am going to warn you straight out of the gate. I am 100% batty and cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs today. I am struggling speaking, which is not normally my issue. It's more than just stumbling over my words. I'm struggling. I feel fine. I feel great. I have no brain fog, physical pain, nothing like that. Just having a bad communication day, apparently. The brain to mouth connection is not working great today. So if there are strange jump cuts, things like that in the course of this video, I apologize in advance. I'm not a very good editor. I don't normally edit my content. There are a lot of new guys here. I don't normally edit a lot of my content. I prefer to keep things chill, low-key, natural, conversational. We're not a polished professional show over here, so we do have a lot of new subscribers, though. In the last month, I think it was 400 new subscribers have subscribed to the channel. Many of you guys coming from June's make-along video, the announcement for the theme of the make-along. So I hope you guys have made it to show and tell number 303. We are very happy to have you. If you have not already identified yourself in the comments section, you are very welcome. I am cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over here. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth. It's a good time, but we're all chill. We're all laid back. If you ever have a question, leave it in the comment section down below. Everybody who's been a regular subscriber here is incredibly helpful and incredibly kind. So we also have a Facebook group as well as a Ravelry group. You can reach out to me personally through email or on Instagram. All of that information is in the description box down below. So 2 weeks since we did a show and tell. It's also been, I filmed one video in 2 weeks. Everything I kind of pre-filmed knowing last week was going to be bananas. I didn't expect this week to be quite as bananas, but it still has been very bananas. So it is what it is. Nothing dramatic, nothing horrible. Just it's those little, I spent 2 hours trying to get up here to film today because I was just getting nipped away, 5 minutes here, 15 minutes there of things that needed to be done. So here we are. And I think that's part of why like my brain and mouth connection is not doing great, because I'm just waiting for the next shoe to drop with like a phone call or a text message or somebody showing up at the door or an unexpected package delivery or who knows. So while the getting is good, we do have a finished object. We have WIPs, we have media, we have happy mail, we have pet tax. And speaking of pet tax, before we get into anything else, I have one of the coolest announcements I have ever had the honor to make here on the channel. So everybody knows, if you've been here for a while, that Pippin and Banner are the true stars of this channel. You guys endure me to get to the pet tax every week. We know this is how it is. That this is the Pippin and Banner show. They are the show. Well, all you guys have really seen are these little tiny segments of their life here around Shea Penny. Troy has decided to invite you guys on an adventure with Pippin and Banner, though. In the Adventure Cats, we get to follow Pippin and Banner as they cross the Atlantic, go to England, to France, cross the Alps, into Egypt. These cats go places, and these cats know how to have a good time. So if you're interested in the adventures of Pippin and Banner Penny, check out the Adventure Cats. There will be a link down below. I will be putting it in the permanent links under where I keep my affiliate links, but there is one in the topics for the episode as well. I am incredibly proud. This is a planned trio of books. Book 1 has been published. Troy has not published books 2 and books 3. I do think you need book 1 to read book 2, but I think book 2 is my favorite so far. I really enjoy all 3 of the books, but book 2, I think that's my personal personal favorite adventure that he has decided to share with you guys. So this is a very, very special project for him to have written, for me to have been able to help him with. This is not my creative endeavor. I'm good at a number of things, but writing a complete story, much less an actual novel we do have some illustrations of them as they travel through the world. I don't know. I'm very proud of Troy. I'm very proud of what he's written. And it's wonderful to be able to share the adventures of our cats. So I wanted to share, one person has noticed this year that this book has been up here actually all year. So Troy, when he did the third big edit, I'm much better at, I always say I'm an analog girl in a digital world. So he actually printed me a copy of my very own that he hand bound for me. So that's been up there all year. I now have my official print copy in paperback, and we have a hardback of it downstairs, obviously, but I'm very excited, and I hope you guys enjoy the story as much as I did, and as much as Troy seems to have had writing it, because he is, I don't know how many of you guys, I mean, we're all creatives. Like, we understand the process, but it's just so much fun. You know, he would decide to do something and get very excited about it. And, you know, I've spent all day with the cats while I've been working on the book, and I don't know. It's very special. The book is genuinely very good. I cannot wait for him to release the second one. Like I said, I think that's my favorite story. But anyway, The Adventure Cats by Troy Penny. It's available on Amazon, paperback, hardback, and digital. So it won't be the first time we talk about it, I'm sure. Especially as he gets the second one published. But we do have pictures of Pippin and Banner just hanging out at the house too at the end of this, and pet tags. So let's go ahead. We'll jump on over to WIPs and talk about what I worked on for the last 2 weeks. All right, so first and foremost, I do want to share my bin of card parts here. So I have not had a whole lot of time to just sit up here and work on anything uninterrupted. So I have not done a ton of work on my Halloween cards in the month of May during the Spook Your Spring Make-Along, but I did, you know, start moving towards having some of these ready to go. I do have some A2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then A7 5 by 7 sized. This is from sheet load of cards from Call Me Crafty Al from December 2025. I've got a stack here from Call Me Crafty Al sheet load of cards from January 2026. This is harder to share. So the backgrounds are going to look like this with the metallic and the ghosties, or the words in the ghosties. And I have some ephemeras that I'll pop on top. You can see how the design is kind of laid out there. So I'm going to kind of follow that design for these. And then the last set is from the sketch from April 2025. It's very hard to show these when they're in these multi-piece stages, but that's the sketch image. And I am using cut-aparts from my paper pack. I kind of just made them into little partial bits. These weren't full-size cut-aparts. I've got everything backed and stuff, and they'll go down like that. And we'll have stickers and other little embellishments and things like that. So I did work on my cards. I think it's 2.5 dozen here started. And I'm about halfway through 3 pages from my paper into the next set. So stage 1 is always like kind of do the high level putting things together. Stage 2 is putting these pieces together and picking ephemera and things like that. And then stage 3 is doing all the enamel dots, ephemera, and final embellishment. I did not pull anything out this year like I did last year. Like, I want to use up all of X, although I do still have 2 rolls of that self-adhesive ribbon that I didn't really love that's in the orange and black colorway. So I did work on those across the month of May. I did want to go ahead and share because I haven't really said anything about it. I haven't shared anything, but not a whole lot got done. I did work on my corner to corner blanket here. So we started off this year down here in this corner. We turned it. And the last time y'all saw this, we were here. Now we're here. We're not that far along. I know, it's just, like I said, every time I turn around, busy. Now for May, I did really focus on the Spookier Spring projects. I made a sweater, a set of bat wings, a collar. I almost finished my socks. I was 20 rows from having my socks done, and I made an entire shawl. So I did, over the last month, work on a ton of stuff and finish a lot of items as well. It's just the things I was working on before May began have not gotten nearly as much work on them. So on the 1st, I was here on my 8-bit socks. I've done this much. I literally just have to bind these off and weave in ends and they're done. They are ready to send to my dad. When you guys saw these last, they were down here. So I worked, that's about 1 inch, did the heels and completed the legs. So the marker is here between the 2 grays. So I worked all of that in the last 2 weeks. I did not get very many walks last week, which is why these did not get done. So I am a little frustrated from here to here. My stripes matched perfectly. From here to here, the reason why I'm doing black for the top of these, and I'm cutting the length of the cuff just a little bit shorter than the last pair I sent him, is this side, the color changes are faster than this side all of a sudden. And I went ahead and cut it after the green, or no, when I started the green. After the green or when I started it? Looks like after the green. And by the time I had gotten back to the green up here, we were back to it being almost 1.5 rounds different. And I double checked my tension. I worked on these primarily sitting down because, like I said, I didn't walk much last week. So from the green where I cut it, these 3 rows, this side was so much faster just in those 3 rows that it was almost a 1.5 rows on the sock ahead. So I went ahead and cut it short. I wasn't going to be able to get the socks to perfectly match, and I was worried it was going to be, almost 2 rows different, which would give us a different cast off point and it would be very obvious at the cuff. So I thought it would be better just to go ahead and do a few extra rows of ribbing to there. So I am doing these 2 at a time on a 40-inch US 1 Chalgoon needle using Denise from her Earth Tone Girls Shadow Wrap Heel tutorial, and the rounded toe. That's how I do all my socks right now until somebody says they want something different, or I decide to start experimenting with my husband's or my dad's socks. That's what I'm going to do. The other pair of socks I have been working... Oh, and these are both mini maker bags from T-Doddles. I love Christie's bags. The insides are always just as phenomenal as the outsides of these. So if you're ever in the market for a good bag with fun, whimsical patterns, I do always recommend Christie's. A lot of hers are drawstring bags. If you like zipper bags with whimsy, I recommend bags from Awesome Granny if Christie doesn't have any. So, but the first pair were Cloudborne from my stash that's ancient. for the toes, heel, and cuff, and then 8-bit Felici from Knit Picks. This is Serenity Sock in Navy from Premier, and the self-striping yarn is Knit Picks in Baker Street Felici and Baker Street. Once again, 2 at a time, 40-inch US 1 Chalgu needle. These are both for my dad, so there's 72 stitches knit to fit a men's size 12. So these I really haven't gotten, obviously, much work on. The last time you saw these, before 2 weeks ago, I only had 1 toe. So in the last 2 weeks, I've done the second toe and 3 stripes. Actually, I have 1 more row of the light blue, and then we switch over to the dark blue. I'm going to go ahead and mark my position here. Oh, good grief. Apparently my fingers aren't working too great today either. I'm planning on editing after this, and now I'm starting to worry whether or not I'll be able to accomplish that. I swear, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, I am going to set these to the side and we can talk about my finished object. All right, so we do have 1 finished object, and that is my Awakening shawl. Links for anything that is a pattern are in the description box down below. This is using Knit Picks Brava in Currant and in Black, Brava Sport. So I have not blocked this. I have not woven in ends, anything like that. I literally finished it the last day of May, right before going to bed. So I love the texture with the 3rd loop half double crochets and these weird puffy V-stitches. I'd never done that stitch before. So I absolutely love this. This is a huge shawl, by the way. I followed the pattern exactly as written, except I did 2 rows of single crochet along the top edge, because with me doing this as a stripe, I wanted the top edge to look intentional and really have a clean finished edge on the top. And I really wanted the thickness here finished to look similar to the thickness of the bottom edge. You have these teardrops, which there's just no good way to show these from here. And having not blocked it, I can't really take a picture of it laid out to show you ideally, but the pattern is linked down below. I definitely recommend going to check it out if you enjoy crocheting shawls. I crocheted this using a Clover Amour 7 hook, I believe. I used the hook size recommended, but I used my Clover Amours for this. I had 4 balls of currant and 4 of black that I took down. I have 2 blacks and 1 currant left over. I'm leaving them in my little spooky bag. And I am thinking about trying to find maybe like a Fair Isle hat pattern to use up the rest of the currant, and maybe do a matching cowl. Like I said, garnet and black is kind of perfect here. I live in Gamecock country. I married into a Carolina family, so I went to a smaller university without a football program, so I don't have a dog in that fight. And even like my family, like my bio family, the people I came from, my ancestors, they're an NC State family. So red and black is still an appropriate thing, even though I'm wearing more of a garnet. Yeah, highly recommend the pattern. Easy to follow directions. She does refer you back to other places where she's done like that puffy V stitch. I can't remember what she called it. It's like a 3 loop double something. Anyway, she refers you back to her tutorial on how to do that and another video and stuff. That's fine. I didn't mind that. It did take me a second. I did have to actually like pay attention to those sections and my counts, but that's only because I kept getting distracted. while I was working on it. So it is something where your counts can get kind of wonky if you're not paying complete attention to what you're doing. But yeah, I loved the project. I love the finished project. I do kind of want to I've got some of the worsted weight cotton cakes, and I was thinking how cute this would be in one of those and do kind of like a shorter version. Like I said, this one in the acrylic is 8 feet on the top edge, so it's huge. But it does, if you go back to like my other tutorials where I talk about the increasing, where if you bulk up the increases on the top edge, you will create a longer top edge with a shorter drop. Well, that's what she does here. You have the double increase on the top edge and the single increase at the drop. So it's wide without a huge drop. So I think shorter with the cotton would be adorable, like totes adorbs. So I am thinking about using one of my striping cottons. I do also have a sport weight cotton in the shimmer that it would also be pretty in. So, but I think this is something I'm going to make again. This isn't going to be the only awakening shawl that I make. So there's that. All right. Inhale, breathe, take a second. I want to talk about Happy Meal, and then we'll talk about media, and then we'll do our pet tax. All right, so I did have 2 pieces of Happy Meal this time. One I'm going to share, and one was requested to not be shared. So thank you. You know who you are. Thank you very much. I got it. I love it. The other one, there was no such request, so I get to show off what they did. So these are handmade by one of our subscribers, Randy. And for the Speak Your Spring Make-Along, she has been making these little round witches. And this one's particularly cute because it's pink and it looks like Kirby. It looks like Kirby with a witch's hat. And I love the little stars and glitters and everything. And it's a little trinket tray. But I don't know why. You know, I always tell you guys, there are certain things that just strike me as like, I want to cutigress them so bad. They're so adorable and I'm so excited about them. And Witch Kirby, for some reason, as soon as she shared this in the Facebook group, I was just like, I love it. I love it. So we have Witch Kirby, which I'm not sure where Witch Kirby's going to live, but it's going to be part of like the permanent display in here. So we'll have to figure out where Witch Kirby's going to live. All the more reason to work on the using your stash to create more holes, because that is part of the purpose. I would love to have my doll from Anaya's Toy Box a little bit better displayed. Onion Duck has a really good spot here just because that's where Corn Duck lives, and Onion Duck has to live with Corn Duck. Anyway, the other piece that she sent is this beautiful bat tray. And I'm keep going back and forth because I'm not always. With the projects I've chosen to work on this year, I am using a lot of 1 or 2 row. I need a stitch marker, moving it constantly. And having a tray beside where I sit would be very useful for a lot of those projects. But I also really want to use this for where I paper craft, because this would be perfect for putting all of my little bits, like the little ephemeras and stuff. When I decide what I want to use all of, I can drop them in here. And they'll all just kind of like, depending on what I have, like with the enamel dots, or if I have stickers, or if I have little cardboard pieces, I can put them in a place where I can see them. Or if I I do have a Cuttlebug, the manual die cutting thing. And I have some scraps that I need to cut up into some little die cuts too. And if I have something that's got multiple pieces, I can put them in here and I don't get them lost. Because I'm really bad about just knocking things off my table. And it's a problem. So, thank you so much, Randy. As soon as you said you had sent something, I was like, I don't want to be greedy, but I hope she's sending me the Kirby Witch, because I love the Kirby Witch. My husband was laughing at me. Troy thought that was hilarious. So, Kirby Witch will be finding a permanent home. Oh, stop blowing out. There we go. Kirby Witch will be finding a permanent home here in the craft room. Hopefully, maybe by Lumpy over here. So anyway, thank you so much. Let's get on to media. Okay, I decided to go ahead and cut this section. Number one, I kept misspeaking all over the place, and it was just way too cumbersome to fix things on the screen or try to edit out where I stumbled on certain things. Also, the video's already running long. I do try to keep these under 30 minutes, and with pet tax, I just figured it was better to go ahead and cut the consumed media section off here. But next week we will talk about school spirits and how I feel about how season 3 ended, and talk about Netflix The Burrows and Apollo 13 by Jim Lovell. That is still my audiobook while I'm walking right now. So anyway, I hope that you guys have a wonderful, fantastic weekend, that everything is happy and whole, of course, in line with the rest of the day, because I am doing this editing and voiceover on the same day I filmed it. My alarm would start going off as I'm trying to tell you guys that I love you. So anyway, I love you. I hope you are having a wonderful, fantastic day. As always, I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Please take care of yourselves and enjoy the pet tax.